Hey, and welcome to the Jessica Paul podcast. I'm your host, Jess Paul, actress, manifestation expert, and mindset coach. And I'm here to share with you all of my secrets on confidence, success, and the magic of manifestation. If you're ready to dive in deep and see more success in your career, more money in your bank account, and more love in your life with a whole new level of freedom, then you're in the right place. I'm letting loose on everything you need to take back control of your life, up-level your mindset, and tap into your manifestation powers. I'm so excited that you're here. Hello, gorgeous souls, and welcome back to the JP podcast. It's me, Jess Paul, here to help you manifest your next level life and get you feeling confident as fuck, guys. It's funny because I put up a post the other day about really what I do as a coach because obviously I'm helping you manifest your next level lives, but the whole thing that I'm doing for you guys is helping you tap into that inner confidence, that inner bad bitch, so that you are feeling that every single freaking day, because that's how you're going to manifest. Guys, how the hell are we all? Thank you so much again for the response for last week's episode. The downloads of this podcast are just going up and up and up, and it's just amazing to see. And I'm so glad that you're all enjoying it and that I'm bringing value into your life, because that's the whole reason why I set this up, guys. Because I just had so much to say about all of this work and all of the stuff that I've used in my own life to get me to where I am. So I'm so glad that it's serving you, and I'm getting lots of lovely messages in my DMs, and it's so great. It's so great. So guys, I'm going to start this episode off with my little sponsor for this week, which is my free guided visualization. I released this last week, and so many of you have already got your hands on it, which is fantastic, and you're all enjoying it. And guys, the way that you get your hands on this visualization is just simply by heading over to Apple Podcasts and leaving me a little rate and review if you are enjoying the podcast, and then just taking a little screenshot of that and sending it over to me on Instagram. And I will be personally handing out all of these guided visualizations. So this guided visualization is here to help you step into that next level. It's taking you through your future self. There's a lot of things that you are guided through and you see in this visualization, and it's just a freaking great way to start your day. Like, I use it most days to just as part of my morning ritual. So if you want to get your hands on that, then I'll put all the details in the show notes, and I hopefully will chat to you all in my DMs. So guys, my little life update this week has been that I went over to see my family in York. So York as in north of England, Yorkshire. For any of my listeners that are international, I'm a northern gal, and I live in Manchester, but a lot of my family live in Yorkshire and are from Yorkshire. So my brother and my sister both live in York, and I went to go and visit them this weekend, and we had a little night out, and it was a fun little night out because I had actually gifted this night out for my sister and my brother and both of their partners for us all to go out for a comedy night, and it was actually really freaking good. Like, you know, and you book these things and you think it could be hit and miss. Like, I don't know what the comedians are going to be like, but they were freaking funny, and actually, like, it was a good reminder just to let yourself laugh and like let yourself go for an evening. I'm definitely going to book more stand-up comedy because I just loved being able to just sit there, and it was like laughing therapy. That's what it felt like. And it was also really nice because it was a reminder of, as well for me personally, like how far I've come, because the fact that I could like gift that night out for my family and like pay for it all and be able to treat my family in that way, like is testament to, you know, the freedom that I've been able to create using this work and using money mindset. And, you know, it's one of my biggest drives, really, guys. Like, when I think about making more money and being able to create more freedom. It's so that I can give back, and especially to my family. And actually, for Christmas as well, I did buy my mum and dad this 5-star trip away. And again, that was just a great reminder of how far I've come, because only a couple of years ago, I would not have been able to afford any of that for my family. So it was just a great weekend. We had lots of drinks, lots of laughs, and yeah, I think I'm definitely going to be booking more stand-up. If anybody has been to see any stand-up, or if there's any like comedians that listen to this. In fact, one of the comedians, she was from South Manchester, Bethany Black, I think she was called. So Bethany, if you ever listen to this podcast, I don't freaking know why you would, but shout out to you. So yeah, guys, that was my little life update this week. And yeah, just feeling super refreshed after that weekend. So let's get straight into today's episode, guys. I'm going to be talking today about one of my biggest mantras ever. Like, this is something I tell every single one of my students, every single one of my clients, every single friend, family member, everybody. And it's something that I have adopted myself and literally live by. And that is to show up and show off. Right? Show the frick up for yourself and show it all off. Because this is all part of embodying your next level self, Of course, your next level self is going to be showing up and showing off what she's achieved, because duh, like, she's proud of herself, right? And if we want to tap into that frequency, then we need to get used to showing off what we've done. And the reason for this really is because when you show off what you've already achieved, and you really focus on celebrating yourself and, being bold in that way and being confident in that way about just shouting about what you've done, you're tapping into the frequency of that thing, and therefore it's going to just be building more and more momentum up. So you're going to be calling more of that thing in, when whatever we focus on expands. So if you're focusing on everything you've achieved, you're going to achieve more. So like, as an example of this for me, like if I get an audition come through, I'll shout about it. I'll be like, great, like, look at what I'm doing, guys. This is so exciting. Look at how this is progressing my acting career. Or if I get a new client come in, or I sign someone new onto the academy, I celebrate that, because in celebrating that, I'm not focusing on lack. I'm focusing on that abundance that I have just received, and therefore I'm going to get more of that come in. But the thing is, guys, a lot of us can find this difficult for really, there's like two main reasons that I've found in my own life that I've struggled with this, because I definitely have struggled showing up and showing off in the past. And really, number one, it comes down to the fact that we worry what other people are going to think of us. If we start showing up and shouting about our successes, we worry that people are going to think, oh, well, she's being very full of herself. That's a phrase that I get heard a lot. Or she's being too in your face. Like, again, I hear that a lot. And we're conditioned to play it small, guys. We're literally conditioned to be modest, shut up, and just get on with things and not fully celebrate ourselves. And the other reason that we find it difficult to show off is because we innately somewhere within us, we believe that we're not worthy of it, right? Even when we receive things, and this has happened to me before in the past, like I've received manifestations come through. And actually, I really felt this when I first started manifesting big money. I had to really work on a lot of shadows when I was first starting my money mindset journey. But I would constantly think, oh, am I really deserving of this? Am I worthy of having this thing? And when you question yourself in that way, you are going to find it so difficult to manifest in what you desire, because I use this phrase a lot as well, that your self-love, your self-worth is the foundation for your success. If you don't believe you're worthy of having something, then the universe is not going to give it you. So I used to struggle with this a lot, guys. Years ago now, I really found it hard to show up because I was dealing with a lot of confidence issues, a lot of self-worth issues. I was struggling with anxiety and all of these things years ago. And so the idea of showing up for myself and showing off and speaking out and shouting about anything I've achieved was really freaking scary. And what I found in my life was that the less I celebrated what I had achieved, the less I had to celebrate. Okay, this is what I found. This is like a pattern that I started finding in my life. And actually, you know, I always think back to this one time in my life where, and again, I have no regrets, guys, but like there was some points in my life where I really didn't take full control of what I was doing and showed up and showed off what I was doing. And in those moments, I blocked myself from opportunities. I was blocking doors that were opening for me. And this is what tends to happen as well when you don't show up for yourself and show the world what you've already achieved. You know, less people can see you. And, you know, I coach a lot of coaches, I coach a lot of actors and creatives and people that just want to be seen, you know? You want to get noticed by your industry, by casting directors, by clients and whatever. You want to be seen. And so if you are not comfortable with showing up and showing off, then you're never going to be seen, okay? And so this time in my life is really vivid for me, was actually years ago now. It was, I think, 2017, where I actually got cast in a show as like a main iconic role. If any of you have seen Grease, you may have seen the John Travolta, Olivia Newton-John film version of it. So I was cast in this musical as Sandy, so Olivia Newton-John's character. And it was a big fucking deal, guys. Like, it was huge. But at the time, I did not even talk about it, right? I didn't even talk about it. I was getting messages from all sorts of people in the industry. My name and face was like plastered all over like the stage, online news and everything, and I just sat there and I didn't make a big deal out of it. And like I said, it was for one of those two reasons. Like, I firstly just didn't really feel like I was worthy of it. Like, I'd come straight out of drama school, gone straight onto the West End with a job, and then this was like literally my second job out of drama school. And you know, I was young and I didn't know how to show up for myself, and so I was just a nervous wreck. And that's why so much of this mindset work and this shadow work is so important, because it's given me the confidence to be able to show up. But I remember being in the dressing room of my press night for this show, and literally sitting there and thinking, I don't want to come out. Like, I don't even want to come out of this dressing room right now, because I was struggling so much with showing up. And there were all sorts of producers in there and casting directors there and celebrities and people in that press night that I could have really taken like hold of and opened up a hell of a lot of doors for myself. But I just didn't, right? I sat back because I didn't know how to show up and show off. And because of that, guys, I started to see, because there's a direct correlation between that self-worth and what you manifest into your life. I started to see that, you know, my career had started off on this massive high and it was going really well, and then it started to dwindle out, right, as an actress. And like I said, I had to really correlate those things. And once I started working on my mindset and my shadows and around my self-worth and my confidence, that's when I learned how to truly show up again and show off what I was achieving. And that's when more and more things started coming into my life, okay? And again, the other big reason that I really struggled back then, especially with this job, was again, I was worrying what people were going to think of me. Like, literally, guys, what would go through my mind is that there were people in my drama school in class that still hadn't even got an agent, right? And I was that girl that had left drama school early, got an agent straight away, played the main role in my third year show, went straight into the West End, went straight into playing Sandy in this musical. And whoa, like, that is a fucking lot to achieve. That is so much that I have achieved that I just pretended that it wasn't even really happening. I was like, I was putting it to one side. I was pretending it wasn't happening because there were other people in my year that hadn't got any of that, right? And so I was worried, they're going to think I'm too much if I show off everything I've achieved, and they're not going to want to celebrate me. And again, like, what you've got to understand is that there are people out there that will be a bit jealous. And that's fine, and we'll talk about that as well. But equally, like, there are so many people out there that want to celebrate you, right? And if you're living with these limiting beliefs that people are going to judge me, people aren't going to like me as much if I'm successful, you know, these were genuine limiting beliefs of mine. Like, you're living with those beliefs, like, you're not going to achieve the success that you actually crave and desire. So I want to give you some little perspective shifts that are going to help you with your mindset around this. But like I said, you know, the real work you have to do goes deep, guys, with this, because if you are still struggling with your confidence and, you know, you're still struggling with being bold and being able to show up as that bold version of you, then like it cuts deeper than you think it does, right? On a subconscious level. And that's like all the work I've done. Like, I've been working on this for years, guys, and this is exactly what I help all my students with. But some little perspective shifts that will help you today with this, so that you can start showing up and showing off right now, like after listening to this podcast. Number one, if you're worried about what people are going to think of you, just remember that when you show off, when you put that stuff out there and you shout about your success, just like I do on Instagram, you see me, right? Like, if any of you follow me on Instagram, you will see how much I'm always shouting about what I have achieved, about what my clients have achieved. And I do it every single fucking day. And when you can start doing that, what you're actually doing for other people is you're giving them permission to do the same. So this is so empowering to think, because actually, rather than, you know, being in your own head about it and thinking these people are going to think I'm a show off, right? You know, there's negative connotations to that, to showing off. Like, you know, this is the conditioning that we've had. You know, people think it is wrong to show off. People think it is not a nice quality or trait in someone. But actually, when you show off what you've done, you're giving other people permission to do it too. You're literally being that inspiration for somebody else. And I guarantee there are people out there watching you, right? Whether you are a coach or a business owner and you're a leader, or whether you are a creative and, you know, you want to put your work out there and be seen, there are people watching, guys. And if you really want to give them a show, then give them a show, you know, because they're the people that are going to be drawn to you. You're giving them that permission to step into those shoes too and create all of that success as well. And that's truly empowering and, you know, amazing to think that you're that inspiration for someone. But let's say, for example, that there are people out there that are going to talk, right? Because let's be fucking honest, like, there are people out there that have things to say when you start showing up and showing off your successes. I have had it a ton in my business when I really started stepping into my own and speaking my truth and showing off everything that I've done. And it was especially around money, you know, because a lot of people are triggered by money. And I was finding that I was posting stuff online about the money I'd made in my business or the money my clients were making, and certain people were getting triggered by it, and they were, you know, they weren't enjoying it. And I was getting messages from people being like, why do you have to talk about all that stuff all the time? And actually, I have a whole story that I can tell you about one girl in particular who I used to class as a best friend, who essentially called me a brag and just cut herself out from my life, right? Which I think I'll do a whole podcast episode on jealousy and how to deal with jealousy. But, you know, this is going to happen, right? Because I think I said this in another episode, you know, you've got to be able to show up because you're going to be judged either way, right? And you've got to ask yourself what you'd rather be judged for, you know? Would you rather be judged for showing off how successful you are, or would you rather be judged for, like, not doing anything at all and people thinking that you've not got anything going on in your life? Do you know what I mean? I know I'd rather be judged for being that successful woman, because at the end of the day, the only reason why people judge you or they're triggered about what you're showing off is because it's a direct reflection of what's going on inside them. They want it too, you know? And this is a classic trait of anybody who, you know, is jealous of you or has something to say about what you're doing. It's because you're reflecting something at them that they really want, and because they don't have it, they're just deflecting back at you and blaming you for the fact they don't have it, right? That's how this works. And equally, like, you've got to understand that if you're triggered by somebody's success, just take a mental note of it. Be kind to yourself, but take a mental note of it, because if you don't become aware of those shadows, around jealousy of other people, you're going to, again, block yourself off from all your desires. And I know this first and foremost because I've felt this before. I've been jealous of people. Like, we're fucking human. Come on, like, sometimes we do feel those feelings, but be aware of it, because you don't want to get yourself down a negative spiral like that of bitterness, okay? But like I said, there are people out there that don't do this work, that don't listen to my podcast and aren't diving into this on this level, that will judge you. So you always want to show up being the best version of you, knowing that the people that are judging you, they're not supposed to be in your life anyway, right? And that's the biggest thing, guys, is that if you want to be more of a successful person, then you have to vibrate at the frequency of successful people. And people that are jealous or bitter of you, they are not vibrating at the frequency of success, okay? So you've got to put yourself at that vibrational set point and go, well, if these people don't want to celebrate what I'm doing, then they are not supposed to be my people. Right? And you're going to see this a hell of a lot on your spiritual journey, on your self-development journey. I've got, like I said, got so many stories of people that have left my life, or, people that I have had to like distance myself from because they're just not vibrating at the frequency that I want to be vibrating at. So essentially, guys, if people can't handle your vibe, if they can't handle the frequency you're vibrating at, then let them go, just let them go. They're not supposed to be there. You want to be surrounding yourself by successful people who can celebrate you and also are comfortable and own celebrating themselves, right? So again, take note of who's around you. And if you are looking at someone who is incredibly successful, maybe they've got more money than you have right now, or they've got more career success than you have right now, and you're looking at them thinking, damn, I wish I could be that person. Look at everything they're showing off, and you're feeling yourself getting triggered. What you have to remember is that if you can see their success, they are giving you permission. They're being your guide to show you, hey, you can do this too, right? You can do this as well. So now for me, whenever I fill up here's a tip for you actually, fill up your newsfeed with successful people. If you find that you scroll on Instagram a lot, like fill it up with successful people who have a lot of the things you already desire, because the more you're looking at that, it's the universe telling you, you can have this too. Because actually, guys, if you weren't meant to have that success, you wouldn't even see it. Right? You just wouldn't see it. The very fact it's showing up in your life and you're seeing it in other people that are showing it off is proving to you that you're meant to have it too, right? So basically, showing up and showing off isn't just about celebrating yourself. It's also about celebrating other people. And if you can just be vibrating in that frequency of celebration all the time, right, then you're going to be calling so much more into your life. So be that cheerleader, cheer other people on and cheer yourself on. I like to give myself pep talks, guys. Like, I will literally stand in front of the mirror and pep talk myself and be like, damn, yeah, of course you're that bitch. Of course you can do this. Of course. Like, and cheer yourself on. And anybody that doesn't want to cheer you on or, be in that frequency with you, then to be honest, it just kind of sucks for them, It just kind of sucks for them. And it is not your job to monitor how they react to your success, right? It's not your job to do that. That's their thing going on. And if they don't want to join the party with you, then just quite frankly, they're missing out. So just a few practical steps for you all then that you can take away from this episode and start showing up and showing off today. Firstly, guys, do the mindset work around it. Like, if you want to be seen as a creative or a business owner or just that ambitious woman that you are and go after those goals, then you need to have that confidence and that level of self-worth to be able to show up for yourself in the first place, right? And that, with doing that shadow work around it and really pulling out what your beliefs are saying, and doing that deep inner work, it's just gonna become natural for you to show up. Like, now for me, it's so damn natural. Like, at first, when I started showing up as this confident version of myself and showing off what I'd achieved, it confused a lot of people. I'll be honest with you. Like, a lot of people literally saw me. It was kind of like an overnight transformation, even though it definitely wasn't. Like, there was so much that inner work that I'd done. But like, to people, they saw me as this like quite anxious girl to suddenly showing up and leading workshops and running a successful business and, like being bold and out there and, telling people about her success. Like, that like confused a lot of people. So it's going to confuse people, guys, but do it for you. Because like I said before, you're going to be judged either way. So do the mindset work around it. Like, that is my biggest tip. Secondly, live with that mantra. Live with this mantra. I am showing up and showing off. The more I show up for myself, the more success I call in. The more I show off, the more success I have, right? Like, start telling yourself that on repeat daily. Like, it was a mantra that I like I said, I still use to this day, and I tell every single one of my clients. And really start embodying that next level version of you that is proud of herself, that, that wants to sit in that vibration of feeling proud, because when you are in that vibration, you're calling more of it in, okay? And whenever you don't show up, you are just lowering your vibrational set point, and then you're just not going to call any more of it in, okay? So, and the final thing, a little bit of homework for you all to do this week, is just get out your journal and write down 5 main things that you can celebrate about yourself right now. Maybe it's things that you have manifested into your life that you are actually fucking proud of, and just get them out there, get them on paper. Or maybe it's emotional manifestations that you've been having. Maybe you have been showing up bolder. Write that down. Doesn't matter how big or small these things are. Like, it could literally just be that this week you got out of bed and you went to the gym every single day, and that deserves to be celebrated. Or that you learned how to, I don't know, bake a certain cake. I don't know. It could be anything in your life, but it all deserves to be celebrated, because like I said, when you're leaning into the abundance of what you've gained and what you have achieved, then you are just going to expand that and bring more of that back into your life. So make a list, write down 5 things that you can truly celebrate in yourself. And then once you've written that list, I want you to go and fucking shout about it. Like, go and shout about it. Tag the list on my Instagram stories, tag me in it, like, let me see what you're celebrating. Go and tell your friends, go and tell your family, put it all over social media. Do what you have to do, but get it out there, speak it. Like, actually allow that throat chakra to open up and speak your truth, because the more you do that, the more you signal to the universe, I am worthy of this thing. I know I'm deserving of it. I know that I was always supposed to have this thing. And the universe is going to look at that and be like, okay, well, we'll give you more of it then. All right. So that's your little bit of homework this week. Write those 5 things down and then shout about it, guys. Quick recap then. So showing up for yourself and showing off everything that you've achieved is literally going to help you call in more of what you want, because you're getting into that vibrational set point of success, of everything that you're achieving right now, and it's going to snowball and it's going to expand into more and more and more. And that's what I call the momentum of success. So like, that's the main reason, guys. Like, and so you've got to work on that confidence. And know that if you are worried about what people are going to think of you, then firstly, you are giving other people permission to do the same thing and create a successful life for themselves. And secondly, if people don't want to, join the party, as I said, then that's their problem. And you just have to keep going regardless, keep showing up regardless, and showing up off what you've done, because that's the frequency that you want to be living in. So I hope you've all enjoyed this week's episode. I love chatting about this because showing up now for me is just a non-negotiable. Like, I'm always showing off what I've done. And I want you guys to get into the swing of that and get into the habit of that too. So if you have enjoyed today's episode, give me a little, take a screenshot of this episode, tag me on your Instagram stories, give me a little shout out, tell me what your biggest takeaways were and everything like that. And again, a little reminder that if you want to get your hands on that free guided visualization that I've got out at the moment, all you've got to do is just head over to Apple Podcasts, that's it, and leave a little rate and review. That's literally it. And then send me it via my DMs so that I can personally hand out all of these visualizations to you all. And yeah, go away, do this work, tap into that next level self, and I will speak to you all next week for our next episode. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend who you think would love it too. And if you want to let me know how you found it, just screenshot this episode, add it to your Instagram story, and tag me at I am Jessica Paul so that I can throw all the love right back at you. And of course, subscribe, hit those 5 stars, and leave a review to show your support and to keep the good stuff coming. Sending you so much love and gratitude from your girl Jess.